Before we get into the video, let me ask you a question. Do you want to be a millionaire? If yes, stay tuned and Cathie Wood, a successful businesswoman, will bring us guidance to that journey. ARK Invest Cathie Wood, the company's founder, CIO, and CEO, appeared on her monthly series In the Know last May 6, 2022. She agreed that April has been a difficult month for everyone, and her management firm has not been exempt from the global financial crisis. Since 2014, the ARK Innovation Fund's performance has deteriorated to its lowest level since April of 2022, when it lost over 30% and 9% in the first week of May 2022. Cathie Wood is of the opinion that there are a variety of newly available options or probable chances as a direct result of the recent global financial crisis. She has an expectation that by the year 2030, the disruptive innovation will have achieved a market value that is more than 20 times larger than today. She went on to cast additional doubt on the choice made by the Federal Reserve System, also known as the FED, to raise interest rates by 50 basis points. She went on to remark that the bond market has not been in such a state since 1788, which was the last time it was this awful. She is also of the opinion that the FED will not increase interest rates by 75 basis points in June, contrary to what has been reported in the media. When Cathie was briefing her audience on the present situation in the financial markets, she paid particular attention to economic statistics, market signals, and the activities of the FED. Welcome to Smart Stock Academy, where you'll discover videos about businesses and insights from your prominent CEOs. Thank you for joining us for today's video, and let's explore topics that will awaken your curiosity when it comes to stocks and investments. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell to assure you that you'll be updated whenever we upload videos. Now let's get back to Cathie Wood's statements. Cathie has been arguing that the FED's decision to hike interest rates by 50 basis points during the first week of May 2022 was a mistake. The financial markets continue to lend credence to the idea that the FED is acting in mistake, despite the growing body of evidence to the contrary. On multiple occasions, Cathie has seen something similar occur in the stock market. The S&P has seen a decrease in value of 15%, while the Nasdaq has seen a decrease of 25%. She claims that the number of businesses pursuing pure-play innovation strategies has decreased by somewhere between 60% and 75%. She emphasized that this is not merely a spasm, rather it is a convulsion. The vast majority of us automatically anticipate the worst when it comes to innovative companies that are not included in benchmarks. Nonetheless, this could not be further from the reality. The tendency of the market to seek out benchmarks even in conditions where there is a little risk is a significant source of inefficiency. The ridiculous similarity between genomics, blockchain, and crypto assets is something Cathie called out. She stated that Nasdaq began to correlate strongly with crypto assets from the beginning of COVID compared to before, when there was no association at all between the two. In her opinion, this is a huge abnormality and will eventually fix itself, allowing the market's efficiency to return. Since 1788, Cathie is sure that the bond market hasn't witnessed a worse year-to-date performance than the 10-year Treasury yield and its proxies prior to 1940. She went on to say that it's like an earthquake and a tsunami all at once. She said that it was like an earthquake in the bond market because of the low interest rates from which they had started. The difference between now and then, according to Cathie, is that back then, there were big coupons, making it a disastrous place to invest in the bond market when inflation was taken off. Starting at 6, 7, 8, and 9%, the interest rates they were paying were reduced to just 0.5% throughout COVID. As a result, it has a shaky foundation from which to build, so she concluded that they are experiencing a tsunami in the present. According to Cathie, the 10-year Treasury yield has risen from about 1.3% to about 3.1% this year alone. Moreover, a large percentage increase in high-yield bonds is reported. She said that as a result, the spreads have widened from 2.45% to 4.8%.
High-yield bonds, their spreads have increased, and now their spreads are relative to that Treasury yield. And so their spreads have gone up from 2.45 to 4.08. So in addition to the 200 basis points or the 2 percentage points that the underlying bond has gone up, they have gone up another 150 basis points. So credit is becoming much more expensive. If you look at credit default swaps, which are very sensitive to stresses and strains in the ecosystem, essentially they're insurance policies that investors take out or speculators take out to protect against some negative eventuality. Those have gone from, if you use the CDX, which is a market, MARKIT, metric based on the 5-year credit default swaps, they have gone from 45 to 46 as of September 21 to 85-86 as of today. Now, during COVID, they went up to 159, so we're not anywhere near there. During the fear that China was going to blow up in early 2016, they got to 128. Well, that's a little closer to 85, 86. But today, we are much closer to where we were in 2018, the fourth quarter. Now, what is the significance of that? In the fourth quarter of 2018, the market was beginning to send signals that the Fed was overdoing it by raising interest rates each quarter. And so this metric hit 95 then. So we're at 85, 86. So the Fed is beginning to understand that there are stresses and strains out there, and that is why this past Wednesday, the fear that the Fed would raise interest rates 75 basis points, either this go around or next go around, Chairman Powell put to rest and said they were not contemplating it. And so he was considered, he sent, relative to expectations, a positive signal. And all the markets seem to enjoy a run for that one day, based on the notion that the Fed was beginning to understand that maybe they're overdoing it. We think over the next month, now they have another meeting in June, over the next month, we believe that the Fed is going to get a lot of data. Today was one of those days with the employment report that is going to put another measure of caution into their cadence here. So we would be surprised to see another 50 basis point move. Maybe they do 25. We still think they're overdoing it and the markets won't be happy. But I think what's happening here is this Fed and the members of the Fed are so afraid that they will be stuck with the legacy of reigniting inflation and not being able to put the genie back in the bottle. They're so afraid of that they are they're speaking very fiercely right now, and they've made a bold move, 50 basis points, when the base is only 25 basis points. So we shall see. We've seen M2's growth decelerate from 27% to 9.9%. And if you look at it that's on a year-over-year basis. If you look at it on a 3-month moving average basis and annualize that, we're in the low single digits. And it's kind of consistent with what happened in the GDP report. I'll get into that in a moment, but that GDP report was negative.
After hearing Cathie Wood's statements, what did you realize? If you're gonna ask how these statements contribute to your millionaire journey, let me give you the answer. These insights coming from Cathie Wood are a guide for you if you're entering the world of investments. You can consider it as an idea of what your next step will be. Given this information that Cathie Wood offered, you will be much more knowledgeable about how business works in reality or the actual setup. always remember, knowledge comes from before wisdom. That's it for today's video. Let us know what you think about Cathie Wood's statements, and please leave it in the comment section so we'll know what your insights are. Again, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more updated videos about the business world.